into that.
We
like,
are
where
live.
to put stuff. But my point is, it ain't realistic enough.
Well, I know, but I mean, you sort of have to draw a line at how far of realism you're going to take in something, man.
Yeah, and that line to come up short of frustration mechanics that exist just to annoy us.
I mean, is it a frustration mechanic, though, if it's trying to form some reasonable... They have a reason behind it. You can only carry so many suits of armor, swords, axes, stuff like that. There is a limit.
No, that part of the mechanic isn't a problem. Now you're doing what you did the other time. Don't deflect. That is for that stuff, yes. But you're saying you have a backpack full of quest items. Now, why do you have a backpack full of quest items? They generated that problem.
Oh, no,
This
okay.
is what Asmongold was saying.
No, I get what you're saying there. No. I mean,
why
but
did they
at the same time,
you needed those quest items?
At the same time, I don't even know if I need the idols. I've just been picking them up.
But you get my point.
I don't know what they're for. I could be wasting my bag space on things that appear to be quest items, but really they're just junk keeping up my bags.
Yeah, because they made the game. You need to get from A to point B. They decided that getting to A to point B required all these other items. And then they decided those items were going to clutter your inventory. Yeah. They created the problem.
Now, I will say the problem they created is not necessarily you collecting the items. The problem they created was that I can't put quest items in my bank.
Correct. And in some cases, you'll literally drop it. Like when I went out, exited the one where you got to get the soul orbs, you literally will drop the soul orbs. So you have to come back through and pick them back up.
Because they're used in the same area you pick them up, where these are not.
Bring me a Capri Sun, Mo. I want to try it. But, and that's my thing, is that also they decided the size of the item, Wells. The item that they needed could have been little single slot medallions.
Now, I will say, one of them's like the idols should not be the same size. Oh, hell, we see them on screen. They're not the same size as a... well, I guess they probably are about the same size as a helmet on the screen, but they could have been smaller.
That's my point. Like, you're creating a quest item I need to get. That's fine. I need to go find it. That's fine. Why can't it be a single? Why can't it be the size of a necklace medallion? Why can't it be 3 circlets? Why does it have to be a 6 or 9 or 6 or 8 square item instead of a 1 or 2, 1 or 4? See what I'm saying? They created the idea of, let's make it really stupid big so it gets in the way. Unnecessarily. It could be a key. It fit in one slot. It could be a key. It could be an eye. It could be you know what? It could be a gem you put in the eye of a statue. Let's go Indiana Jones. Why isn't it a left eye gem and a right eye gem and a forehead third eye gem, and each one of them's the size of one slot?
Because, I mean, whoever made the idols decided not to make them that small. I don't know, man.
Go ahead and start us. Are we started?
Yeah, well, I told you we were live like 4 or 5 minutes ago.
I'm sorry, man. I was busy being annoyed by, like, the idea of them, like, I'm going to have my inventory filled again. I'm a monk.
Flynn's already telling you to lock your door when you stream.
Probably a good idea. You're going to keep running in here. Oh, now I need to go where I can see the chat. I'm glad you said something because I keep forgetting that, like, I need to go over to
share that screen.
Nah, dude, I can get it. I'm doing it now. One more viewer ain't gonna kill us. Wow, that delay is something. That's creepy. Around the room. Now I can actually come. Oh, no, I need to mute it. Yeah. I muted it.
All right. You and your Capri Sun.
This is Capri Sun water, 1 gram of sugar. I got it for my kid so he doesn't become diabetic. That's not bad. It tastes pretty decent to have 1 gram of sugar. Okay.
You should scoot to your left. There you go. A little more centered there. So we can see that full Capri Sun action there.
I was trying to sit in between the dual screens, but you're right. I need to be lined up with this one. All right, do the intro.
All right, man. Well, Dicejunkies, I'm Xenodamus. I'm here with
Q.
And Bloodaxe is still taking care of family stuff. It's the holidays, so, you know. Let me shut my door real quick, too, so I got an echo.
Good to see you, people.
I'm used to having Q that I can go, shut the door, man. Oh, man. But, yeah, no, 'tis the season, man. It's what, 3 days till Christmas?
Oh, yeah, man. Kitsune and Mishoku dropped off a bunch of wonderful Christmas snacks, man. They're awesome around this season. And it is the season, you know?
Well, speaking of gifts, you know, DC gifted us with a new Superman trailer. Some will, of course, enjoy the gift. Some will not. That is the way these things work. What do you think, man?
It doesn't look bad. Guy's all right for Superman. A little skinny, you know? But that's what happens when you decide to go from Henry Cavill to not Henry Cavill. Let's just be real.
Yeah,
like, Henry Cavill,
I will definitely say he doesn't have the, you know, I do like to see that muscle definition on Superman. Just because, I mean, you know, from reading the comics and stuff, you always had those really broad shoulders and muscular figures.
Yeah, that's why they call Clark Kent Farm Boy, because even Clark Kent was huge, and it was because he was from Smallville. He grew up on a farm. That was part of his cover, which is true though. Also, why he was so big. It's like, oh yeah, he grew up on a farm. You know,
and the Henry Cavill one, you see him working on a ship, and you know all this stuff. You know, he did a lot of manual labor as in his past, so it definitely pulled off he can be buff, you know, and
that's the thing is that Clark, and I'm not trying to knock the guy. It's not his fault. It's the literal problem of you had an awesome dude like Henry Cavill, and you know who's as big and as muscular as Henry Cavill? You need to go get like a wrestler. Let's just be real. You would have to go get like a wrestler to be as big as that dude, because he is a big dude and fit. So it's going to be a downgrade. But other than that, the only real flaw, because that's not a flaw. I mean, he does great as Clark Kent. He does not look intimidating as Clark Kent. But he also doesn't really look intimidating as Superman. I
don't know. In his Clark Kent persona, he's got a little bit of emo hair going on. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I said it nicely, and that he's not. He looks like, you know what? It used to be. He looked like Superman, and when he was Clark Kent, he looked like Superman in disguise as Clark Kent. Here, he's Clark Kent, and when he's dressed up as Superman, he looks like Clark Kent cosplaying as Superman. Does that make sense? Like, he still looks like a little dude. You know what I mean? He still looks like a little dude, and probably, like, with the messy hair, like, so... But I'm not going to knock the actor. My main thing is I just think it's really busy. Like, there's a lot going on here, man. And I'm not able to keep up with the sheer quantity. And there's so many characters. My biggest thing is I'm wondering if it's going to be too much, that people are going to be like, what the hell is going on? You know, like, it's all
it is busy. I think that's actually a good thing, personally. You know, because I like to see a universe, and it's always annoyed me when I've seen like one or two superheroes, and you're always like, well, where's everybody else? You know, there doesn't seem to be a actual ecosystem of superheroes, where here you do get sort of an ecosystem going on. You see, you know, Hawk Girl, you see Green Lantern, you know, you see these different personalities and characters that you know from the comics that you also know Superman has worked with in the comics.
And that's going to be the curious part. But like I said, if I was going to give any criticism, I hate to say it, I I love Crypto, but I think the Superman costume. Well, there you go. Did you catch what I just said? I literally just gave it away. The Superman costume. I don't know why. Maybe again, I'm just glazing, Cavill too much, but no, because this was the outfit. It looks like a costume, dude. It looks like something we'd see at a con to me. It is like, I don't know why. It just looks like a costume. It does not look like a uniform or a suit for Superman. I don't know why it keeps coming up. Now, it could be the guy in it's just not filling it out right. It really could be that.
To me, it's always looked like a costume. I haven't seen a Superman outfit that doesn't look like a costume.
I've seen several that looked pretty good, though. Like, within a comic book concept. Dude, there's a difference between, like, how it looked in the Cavill movies and how it looked and when I go to a con and somebody's cosplaying and, they're doing okay. Because don't get me wrong, there's some amazing cosplays, too. Like, hit that shot. Click it. Oh, obviously, you would miss it. With the boot. Like, it looks costumey there, man. It just, oh my God, that's not a good, okay. You can cut it out. Wow, that's not the best shot.
That's not a great shot. No, I mean, he is muscular. He does not have the build that, like, Cavill had, which does suck.
Face, that is, nah, man, and then the belt looks really cheesy.
Well, I mean, apparently James Gunn did not want to do the underoos over the pants, but the actor was like, well, nah, Superman's trying not to be scary. And so basically making it look like a costume, by doing the underoos and stuff like that was supposed to lower the intimidation level.
Yeah, not make it look like a combat uniform or something. And I get that, but I've seen at cons people rock it better. I'm just going to be honest. I've seen better Superman. I've seen the costume rocked better than there. It looks a little meh, if I'm being honest. It looks a little meh. And dude is, well, at least they did the curly Q in that shot. So wow, look how different that looks than the previous one. Like, some shots he looks all, like he's got the Superman stuff, and like you said, other times he looks really moppy and messy. Maybe that's supposed to implicate battle damage, but look at his uniform. It's covered in damage there.
Yeah, I mean, his face is covered in soot or something.
We'll see what the execution is. You know what?
Yeah.
If it's Superman kicking, because I am with you that I think Superman's boring by himself. He's the most fun when he's amongst other heroes, and you could just see that massive difference between Superman and like a Hawk Girl.
Well,
or
I think it's good to start
or whatever.
I think it's also good to start with a vulnerable Superman. I mean, he is still early in his. I mean, you see, he's got the crap beat out of him. His neck's bruised, his face scrapped, he's bleeding from his mouth. I mean, he's not.
And also, we got Crypto from that shot, man. They even gave Crypto the cape, dude. They gave Crypto the cape. That's awesome. I like that Crypto has his cape. I think that's awesome. I like it. I thought it was cute, and the fact that James Gunn would bring in such a side-ish character as Crypto the Super Dog is possibly the coolest thing. And the fact that it's not like talking Crypto, it's Crypto as a dog. You know what I mean? Not Crypto like what's wrong, Kal-El? Are you okay? Don't worry. He grabs him with like a paw and no. Like, he drags him along the ground, which is obviously hilarious that he grabs him by the cape. Does not fly, just drags.
Now this is something that got me was the Luthor Corp. I always thought it was LexCorp.
It hasn't become LexCorp yet.
Okay.
Remember that he inherited Luthor Corp from his father, if I remember. So he hasn't turned it into LexCorp.
Gotcha.
He's Lex Luthor. So this is early. I like this. I think that this is a good Luthor. He's rocking the bald cut. He actually cut his hair off. It's not a crappy bald cap, or if it is, it's good. He The way he looks in another shot when he looks out the window, he looks serious. You know, this looks like a Lex who's serious. There, I like that shot. That was a good Lex shot. I like that. I think he's rocking a darn good Lex Luthor. But he's like one of looks like maybe 5 or plus villains. So that's why I'm saying, oh man, I hope that we get to develop Lex and Superman. Because also they seem to be leaning heavily into the Lois Lane of this instead of slowly building up. I mean, they're already a couple, man.
Yeah.
Like the shots make it clear that they're already making out and banging. So this is going to be a really fast-paced movie. But you know what? It might be amazing. James Gunn is the guy that can do it. Hey, that's comic book accurate. Don't say nothing. That's comic book accurate. That is how dorky he looks. That is. They decided to go as comic book accurate with that look as they can, and yeah.
I mean, Nathan Fillion would be the guy that would be like, I want to be comic book accurate Green Lantern, So
yeah, I want to look awful. And the dude is also a jerk, and he's got the face. He is going to rock that. In fact, might be the highlight of the movie.
Yeah,
might literally be the highlight.
I see
of the
Hawk
movie.
Girl there in the background as well.
Hey, they gave her the mask. I mean, James Gunn is going hard on doing this, and it looks like he's attacking Superman there, huh?
No, he's doing something with the building. If you see in the earlier scene.
That's it. I'm sorry. When you were sliding around, it made it look like.
See.
Yeah, he's doing it to the building, not Soup's. He's probably keeping the people out so Superman doesn't rip all their heads off, because Soup looks annoyed here. Which also, I do like that. I like Superman when he kind of goes, you know who the F I am, right? You know, I mean, I'm sorry, I get it.
It could be a couple of things here. I mean, we've talked about, later on. Now this is early, but I mean, later on when he's a figure that's of justice, you don't want to see that figure bleed, basically. So if he's wounded here or hurt here, you probably don't want the people to see it.
I think he's mourning. If I were to guess what happened here by the look on his uniform, he failed to save someone. People died. He wasn't able to stop something. And people are crap. They demand perfection, And I mean, I know we could be demanding it with games and stuff, but we don't demand perfection. We just demand you put in a good effort. But there are a lot of people that don't. They demand 100. Well, hell, we know that. What's ruining the gaming industry is people that want this ridiculous perfection. You know what I'm saying? And they want you to do all this stuff that you realize, but that's going to mess up the story.
I mean, dude, that's a pretty good Hawk Girl, too.
I think so. I like comic book accurate Hawk Girl. But yeah, man, him and Lois are doing really well. It's going really well, But it looks like we're going to have a lot of Superman fight scenes. I love watching Superman fighting people at least close to his weight class. I also like watching Superman bully people, because it's their fault. Because you know what Superman can do? He's humble, so he can get away with kind of beating the crap out of somebody because it's Superman doesn't want to do it. They're making him do it. Does that make sense? Yo, man, you decided to tell, man, screw you, boy in blue, Boy Scout. You ain't gonna stop me. Oh well, commence Kryptonian beatdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, also, you have some giant kaiju-like creatures here. We see.
Yeah, Flynn said, Superman. He said that moment with Superman going, "I'm trying to be a good guy. Could you not make me break bad up on you?" And I like that though. Because here's the thing. He's an icon and a symbol, but I do like also seeing Superman as a human. He's humanized. He's too powerful to be humanized by normal means. So, but thing
Superman is the prime example of power creep. I mean, we've all seen the old comics of Superman. We all know his origin power level versus.
Way lower. He couldn't even fly. He could leap tall buildings. He could not fly. But I mean, I'm old enough, like you said, to go all the way back. But yeah, Superman being humanized is awesome. I don't want evil Superman, but I don't mind human Superman. I don't mind come on, guys, you're stressing me out here. I'm distraught. I'm sad about what happened. Can you leave me be for a sec? Because all that power doesn't make you above emotions. Because if it does, you become dehumanized, you become desensitized, and now you're a villain. Having the ability to be distressed, to be upset, to be anxious keeps him still a grounded character. James Gunn's pulled that off. I'm fine. But there's a lot of characters, dude. There's a lot of characters in this. They're going hard on quantity. So are we going to get that story? Or are we barely going to get to know Superman? That's the magic question. Now, I'm going to find out. I intend to watch it and find out.
I guess my thing is I already know Superman. So all you have to do is sort of fill in.
Well, that's not the story they're telling, though. They're not telling, while they're not starting at the beginning, they're clearly introducing the Superman to you specifically, because we've seen the flashbacks. We see him with the paw kit. We see that he's starting out his career. Otherwise, they could have just got an older actor and did some straight up.
No, but that's my thing, though. I mean, we still know Superman, though. So I mean, we don't have to have every detail. We just have to know enough to sort of get what this Superman's up to.
Well, yeah, I'm not expecting them to tell me his origin story. I'm saying what you're saying. Can we get enough of what he? Because this isn't the Henry Cavill Superman, though. So it is a different one. We do need to know who this Superman is. Can they do it? Possibly. But that depends on how much time they're going to spend introducing us to Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and whoever that is. And, Lex. I'm really interested in meeting this new Lex Luthor. This actor, for some reason, gives me a good feeling, man. I'm optimistic about the Lex Luthor. I really am.
Yeah, you can just Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood it,
Shut up. So I'm optimistic. I want to know more. I'm looking forward to it. I thought it was supposed to be a black Superman. What happened to that? Or is that that's not the character. I know what the black Superman looks like. That ain't we don't have that on
Mr. Terrific, yeah. Thank you, Flynn.
So, but we'll see. I believe it's worth following. And we'll know by July if we want to see it, dude. No way. That's a long way off.
Yeah.
We'll know by July if we want to see it. But I'm gonna give it a let's watch and see.
Yeah. Like I said,
am I excited? No, but I'm curious.
Yeah. I'm hoping for good things from DC. DC needs a win in the movie sphere. They've not really done well there in the past. They've done some good TV. They've probably done better in Marvel when it comes to TV and cartoons, but
well, that's because Disney's insane.
But they haven't really had a good home run with the movies. I mean, they took a bad Batman movie and made a great Penguin TV series out of it.
Could you imagine what we would have got if Netflix continued making the TV side of Marvel? My goodness, if they did the shows we were watching, if they got Wanda Maximoff and did more Daredevil and did well, I don't know. Some of the ideas they have for shows are just stupid. I don't know. You know what? I think they could have did a good Hawkeye. They proved they could do street level really, really good. If we wanted a Hawkeye and a Black Widow show, yeah. So, no, Netflix could have knocked that out the park.
Well, you say that, but, I mean, Netflix ain't had the best track record recently either. I mean,
talking about when they were doing Marvel. I don't know what the heck they're doing
Disney
now.
was doing good with the movies for a while, too.
Well, the movies haven't been well, okay. The movies I went to, because I'm not stupid, have been good. Have they put out bad movies? Yeah, but you want to know something? Those movies never could be good. They were bad ideas to start. That's why I said Disney's insane. Disney is not taking a movie and screwing it up. They're coming up with a screwed up idea to start with. And then still putting money into it. That's weirder. They're going, what movie should we make? Let's do like the Marvels. And it's like, well, one of those people isn't even a Marvel, and you haven't really established those characters that heavily. And they're what are you doing? Like, it was a dumb idea. it was never going to be good because it was a dumb idea.
Well, talking about making IPs, bad IPs into bad movies, let's talk about taking a good IP and making it into a good anime. A1 Pictures has announced the Solo Leveling Season 2 release date. So that is January 4th. So just right around the corner, which is where I predicted it. I mean, I've been saying it was going to be around January when it came out, the new winter season, which is a full year from the original season. So I hit the nail on the head on that one.
I mean, dude, I can't believe it's coming up this fast. I'm happy. The manga's amazing. I also have forgotten enough of the manga that I've been enjoying the anime even more because, while I remember the gist, I don't remember the details. So it's fun having something pop up and going, oh, and by the time I remember, it's already on screen and it's awesome.
Well, it's also nice to see some of the actual combat, rendered into an image, because it had some awesome combat scenes. And I remember looking at the manga and going, oh man, that would animate so awesome, And
they're doing a good job. And it's amazing because this is like Crunchyroll, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it will be
on
Crunchyroll.
I mean, I just hope that it can get to its conclusion without weird, dumb Sony/Crunchyroll stupidity. Because it's amazing. And if you want to know how stupid Crunchyroll is, we'll be getting into that in a moment.
Well, and I mean, we talked about Crunchyroll some last week, and some of the stupid stuff they've been doing, as well as they were trying to buy out the parent company From Software.
Kadokawa.
And that deal did fall through. They ended up getting
another 10%.
Yeah.
If I'm right. So now they're at 20, which makes them the largest stakeholder, but not like I think the majority. I mean, I do believe that it's like they don't have like 51% from what I understand. So they're the loudest voice, but they're not the only voice.
But yeah, with them now having the primary share are one of the largest shareholders of Kadokawa, though, that also does bring some anime leverage as well as video game leverage. So, I mean, will they use that to try to leverage exclusivity to the video games from Software, or will they try to use it to leverage the exclusivity for more anime, which they're already having some shady business with on the anime side?
Here's the problem with that's not a problem but a good thing. From what I understand, Kadokawa was having some problems. That's why they were bad. Well, From Software's doing amazing. They're probably Kadokawa's like one of their heaviest earners. I don't think Kadokawa would let Sony sabotage their most successful part, or one of their most profitable parts of their business, because that defeats the whole purpose. And let's be real, it is factual that going exclusive to Sony loses you money. Because guess what? People are going to buy it for Sony anyway if it's on Sony. Going exclusive is just refusing to sell it to more people. It's just dumb. You're just dumb. It's like you're just losing money.
You say that, but I mean, people keep doing it. There's got to be some bonus to it. I mean,
but people are doing other stupid stuff. I mean, I used to believe you, and I understand your point of view, except I've seen such incredibly stupid crap out of businesses, especially the gaming industry, that I no longer even believe there's a good reason. I think they might be doing it because they're stupid. I'm going to be honest. I've reached that point to where I've seen such ridiculous ideas I don't even believe anymore. You know why? Because Sony's based in California, and American Western gaming is stupid. Well, we don't want to make money.
Sony has a headquarters in California. They're not based in California.
Sony's Western gaming. Sony is Western gaming now, as is everyone else. And we've got literally on this show today more examples of companies wanting to not make money. If it wasn't for the fact that I could see the topics, I might say there has to be a reason. But I'm looking at 4 or 5 tabs of no damn good reason for what they're doing. No good reason. So I feel you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Q is right. I'm saying Q is broken. Q has lost faith in Western gaming.
Flynn says making it exclusive even for a short time helps you to sell systems, but that doesn't make the game any more money. And that was sort of the point. It makes Sony money because, yes, they sell more systems. But does the game make more money? And that's the question. And even if the game makes money because Sony hands them a wad of cash to make them exclusive, what about the reputation and the exposure you miss by not being on other systems?
The franchise.
Yeah.
You kill the franchise to make a quick buck now. You use crackhead logic. I want it now. Don't think about tomorrow. And it's good for Sony. It's terrible. Dude, all of the exclusive franchises are dying. You know what I mean? All the exclusive franchises on Sony are doing okay at best. They used to be more well-known. They used to be more widespread. They're shrinking into Sony space only, where the really hardcore Sony people are weighing these franchises, but everyone else is kind of losing interest and going on to other stuff.
Well, part of that's the whole forcing the PlayStation Network thing on the PC releases and stuff has hurt them as well. But
I remember God of War being a massive franchise across all consoles, and everybody I know was into it. Now, the vast majority of people I know who don't own a PlayStation do not care about God of War and have not played the last 2 games, but they played the first 3. Why? Because they weren't going to buy a PlayStation to play it. So they simply ditched it.
I don't know, dude. I mean, God of War, I think the last God of War probably sold more copies than any of the previous 3.
Hey, Sony's doing well, but I'm going by franchise, like recognition, fans of the franchise. The people I know, and I know quite a few gamers. I got a whole
after the 4th God of War, the one that was the last, and God of War Ragnarok, I heard more people talking about God of War than I ever did before.
Okay, well hey, I'm not gonna argue with you about it. I don't care enough to.
We're having a discussion here. I mean, you're saying it hurt them. I'm saying I don't believe it did.
No, I'm saying amongst the people I know, that I've talked to, that are of it, only the people who own a PlayStation care about the God of War series. And guess what? That's not even 50% of the gamers I know. Maybe you know more. And you know how many of them don't own a PlayStation but played it on PC? 2. That's about it.
Well, yeah.
Most of them got it on PlayStation or didn't get it at all.
Well, that's because, I mean, the God of War series was stupid for waiting like a year to put it out on PC. If God of War would have released simultaneously between PC and PlayStation, you would have seen a lot more PC purchases, but you probably would have seen a lot less PlayStation purchases as well, and that's what PlayStation's actually trying to fight. So,
and that's my thing. I mean, I'm never going to say, and by the way, it sold 15 million. God of War 4 sold 23. It did not outsell the previous game. It sold less. So it went down quite a bit. I just pulled it up. God of War 4 sold 23 million units, and God of War Ragnarok, from Googling it, sold 15.
Well, yeah, I understand Ragnarok was less, but Ragnarok wasn't as good as God of War 4.
That's right. I said the last game, didn't I? I thought I said the last game.
You were talking about the first 3.
Well, I know they sold more than the first 3. Like, just in general, games are selling a lot more. And God of War 4 was quite successful. But I was talking about the franchise, like, across multiple players.
I look at God of War 4 and God of War Ragnarok as part of the same generation, basically.
The games weren't that big back then. Very few games sold 20 or 30 million copies back then. It was rare, especially for a single-player game that wasn't like Call of Duty, maybe, but single-player games selling like 23 million copies back 10 years ago? Hell no. especially a single console.
Gotcha.
Yeah, check it out. See how many copies sold. 5.2 for 3.
Yeah.
Games didn't sell like that back then, though. You're not going to find any game other than maybe, again, a Fortnite, a Minecraft, and Call of Duty. But a single-player game, maybe Final Fantasy. I'll give you that. Final Fantasy used to knock it out the park. Like, I could see a Final Fantasy hitting those kind of numbers. But nowadays, dude, indie games sell 15 million copies. Like, gaming's huge now. Yeah. Indie games sell...
So anyway, I keep trying to go back to the anime section to hold that because so the point with the whole Sony thing and getting the anime is a lot to do about the monopolies, man. I mean,
that back only 7 million for Final Fantasy.
We see Crunchyroll's shocking. We're getting reports of shocking mismanagement inside of the, a lot of weird and unemployee friendly things going on inside of Crunchyroll, as well as there's also been reports that they're sort of strong arming anime. You see them, Dan to Dan, which was a very popular anime that didn't get much advertisement from Crunchyroll because they were mad that the studio that did Dan to Dan also released it to Netflix. And apparently that company has been trying to release them more than just Crunchyroll. And because of that, Crunchyroll has been sort of blocking.
Lots of cosplayers and everything for it. It is popular, yeah. And I've heard the name. I've heard Dan to Dan's name in my other circles a lot of times. I just never went to go check it out. But I've seen that character. Go back up. I've seen her everywhere with the hair. I've seen cosplay, memes on the right. She popped with the white hair. She pops up a lot.
I think this may be the main character. Like I picked up a bit on Netflix. I saw it was on Netflix and started to watch it. It wasn't really my thing, but yeah, supposedly very popular.
Neither is Dragon Maid, but like it's massive though. But yeah, that was amazing when you brought that to me. That like Crunchyroll was purposefully not advertising the anime because they wanted it to not do as well because they're mad that Netflix has it too. But then I remember my comment. What did I tell you about that, though? What did I say about Sony? Okay. I made the comment that Sony is in bed with Epic, and Epic practices that same kind of aggressive saboteur style. So I'm not surprised. Because you remember when Epic started their game store, they were doing every dirty thing they could towards Steam. They were stealing, like getting into your Steam folders. They were paying people to not put stuff out on Steam. They were trying to outsell. They were offering all these discounts to try to lure everyone away from Steam. Instead of working on their own platform,
I don't think that had much to do with Sony, though. That was just Epic being... Sony has its hands in Epic, but I don't think that was a Epic... that was the Epic thing before even Sony got too deep into Epic.
Sony was tied to them, and one of the reasons Sony didn't have a lot of games on Steam is because they were putting them all on Epic. We covered this on this show.
Well, no, I do get that. But they were doing it before that.
That doesn't even have anything to do with what I'm saying about birds of a feather, though. They, similar companies, similar practices, they work together. Sony was supporting it by putting their games on Epic instead of Steam.
No, and I agree. I was just saying that was also an Epic thing before it was a Sony. I get the birds of a feather thing as well.
Epic good. I'm saying, though, I'm not shocked Crunchyroll, which is under Sony, is using the same practices that Sony's partner.
I'm not disputing you. I was just adding context.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Epic always sucked. He is right. Epic was terrible and always will be. Sony is also terrible. And Sony and Epic are partners. I'm making a correlation of Crunchyroll to Sony to Epic. Because fuck Epic. I was trying to get there, but you kept derailing me. That was my correlation. Just so I could drop my F-bomb. You wouldn't even let me get there. I'm like, I'm trying to get a good reason to tap Epic, because Epic has become so non-important now. I don't even get to say anything about them because they're not making the news anymore. Because they don't matter. But I still hate Epic.
It is
so
interesting
I'm going to bring them up.
That we had the mass exodus, the mass reporting of companies and all this stuff, and now all those people that played the holier than thou and pushed a lot of the stuff previously are now also just getting reported for doing the same stuff they claimed other people were doing.
I'm just being stunned because I got onto a search. There's no news about Epic. They don't even make no one cares. They have become irrelevant.
Oh, no, dude, trust me. I was, like,
wow.
Do you know Path Exile 2 was also released on Epic?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
And nobody else knew either.
Nobody even tries to mention that when they look at Steam counts and they're like, hey, look how many people are playing. They don't even try to add in the estimate of how many people are on Epic playing it because it's probably zero. Look, we all know. People go to Epic to play Rocket League and Fortnite.
How do you become that irrelevant? I'm sorry, I'm just amazed.
Well, they quit buying exclusives, dude. They finally gave up on it because they were losing more money than they were making. And honestly,
what happened is what Steam knew what would happen. Yeah. They would literally fade in obscurity.
I mean, well, here's the thing, dude. There was no reason for Epic to do all this. They have the most powerful, most used gaming engine of all gaming engines. The Unreal Engine is everywhere. They make a shit ton of money from the Unreal Engine. They don't need to fight the market, you know? I don't know why they had that wild hair up their ass to begin with, because it was stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, but it infects the industry. I mean, I wasn't completely doing a bit when I said I have reached a point of stopping trying to I'm willing to accept now that Western game studios are just stupid. I'm willing to just take it, man.
Epic is also not a Western game studio.
Then all gaming studios that aren't Chinese. And I don't even, you know me, I'm not pro-Chinese. I mean, I'm not anti-Chinese either, but I'm not pro-Chinese. And yet, they seem to be the only people out there except for Larian that want to make money that I can see, except for all the amazing indie developers. Guys, make sure every now and then to go to Steam and look through upcoming indie games. There are so many on my wish list. I think the future is in the indie. I think the big industries...
And that's probably the better way to put it. Most of the established AAA studios have gotten some weird... I don't know, man, just some weird idea in their head of how studios should be run, and it's gone crazy. I mean, CD Projekt Red, once again, not a Western game company. Yeah, they've started doing weird stuff. I mean, people are... I've looked more into the Witcher 4 stuff and the complaints, and honestly, if you look at the real complaints for Witcher 4... It's not about the character. It's about the lore. They undid a lot of their own lore, you know. And here's my thing: they have people coming. Then they have developers go, "Well, screw the fans, screw this," you know, and all this stuff. And I'm just like, wait a second here. You created this lore. Like, here's my thing, dude. I get, okay, you want to do the, you know, this or that, you know, political, whatever. But when it comes to lore, I mean, Elder Scrolls has done some slight modification to their lore before, and they got shat on every time. Like, they could put out a game that you couldn't even play, but the lore of the series is really where the fans lie.
Dude, Elder Scrolls has never made the best playing of anything. But they've got a lore, a world that you want to go see, and they make a game that is fascinating in its storytelling, its open worldness. They got that down. But gameplay? Man, you're high. No, not gameplay.
But apparently,
no.
One of the things is in Witcher 3, they gave Ciri too much of a power trip. So they had to, you know, take away a bunch of her abilities and stuff.
I wasn't going to say anything, but see, this is how you think I'd just be being an ass. But no, I be knowing stuff that I don't bring up to not cause a problem because I'm trying to be nice sometimes. Dude, Ciri was insanely powerful last time I saw her. Like, crazy. She should have walked in there and, like, slapped that dang monster with her tit and won. Like, I was surprised how much trouble she was having in the fight based on what I thought Ciri's power level was in Witcher 3. Now, I don't know. There's a lot of DLC. Maybe the DLC reined her back in, but Ciri was like the chosen one.
From what they said, says they are Valerie's about Ciri's Witchery, but the answers we want to give in The Witcher 4 are in line with this attitude. That's not the article I was looking for. But yeah, there's one that's talking about, apparently they gave her like ability to change like the time continuum.
No, I have it. Let me do it. You know I love power scaling.
All right.
Ciri's powers from The Witcher include Elder Blood. She is descended of an
teleportation
elven
powers. They had to take.
We can't talk at the same time.
Sorry.
I have it in front of me. She has extraordinary magical abilities because she has elven sorcerer blood. She has space-time magic, able to teleport between worlds, blink short distances, and create portals to other worlds. She can see the past, present, and future. Her magical scream can shake an entire room. Then they say she can imbue a chain with fire and she has swordsmanship. Now, did you notice that at the bottom of her power list was the gameplay elements we saw of chain? So she is a very powerful sorceress. And has a unicorn, apparently. No, she has help of a unicorn. And she was trained by Nanaki and Yennefer. You know, and her mother. So her power is so powerful that a unicorn, Nanaki, Yennefer, and her mother have to help her control it. She should be Super Saiyaning her way through Witcher 3. In fact, here's my problem. I don't have an issue with her being a Witcher. I hate she's a Witcher. So, now I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. The problem isn't she's a Witcher. She's weaker as a Witcher, Wells. She's more powerful as a sorceress. This game could have been about Ciri going around doing stuff as Ciri with space-time magic and spells. Because, dude, I love playing wizards. Dude, if there was a Witcher where I could play as a wizard instead of like a weird dude with white hair, I'd rather play a wizard. I always rather play a wizard in every game. I would love to play as space-time Ciri. Walk up, monsters like, you know how she said it's not a god? Now imagine how that scene would have played out and she goes, it was a god. No, it isn't. I'm a god, bitch. Freezes time. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
Ciri is so powerful. She's weaker as a wizard that's down in the grime using sword. Why was she drinking a potion? She's a wizard. She doesn't need a potion to do magic. So to me, that's the biggest flaw, is that, weirdly, this isn't a power fantasy. This isn't female empowerment. They nerfed Ciri.
Flynn says in that chat room she doesn't use her powers because she wants to stay human.
Who the hell wants to be human? If the option is space-time wizard. All I'm saying is okay, you know what, Flynn, I get that, but she lives in a world filled with horrible monsters, going all the way up to the Wild Hunt. This ain't the time to want to be a mere woman. By that, I mean, like I was going to say mere man, but I didn't want to misgender her. But a mere mortal. You should be a space-time wizard. There's monsters in the world. I think that she got nerfed. To me, this is not doing anything for women. They nerfed Siri, and that's bullcrap. Let Siri be Siri. Let her use her power. Shit, shoot, you spend most of Witcher 3 with her trying to learn to control it. I would prefer real Siri. You give me a Witcher or give me Siri. Don't give me weakened Siri that's just a skin swap of Geralt. I don't need a skin swap of Geralt. Give me Geralt or give me Siri. And honestly, if I had to choose, this is honest, because guess what? You can't call me sexist, because if I had to choose, I'd rather play Siri with her magic than Geralt with his swords and his potions. I like Geralt, but Ciri's a badass. I'll tell you that. Ciri's a badass. So to me, the nerfing of Ciri is my problem. I want Ciri's space time. Now, it might be in there. And I'm going to take it. And if I played it, I better unlock it. I want my magic back. I want my magic back. Take power from me.
Speaking of games changing their core, Gearbox says Borderlands 4 will cut back on toilet humor and promises a new approach to comedy.
They're literally like trying to. No, that later was added a new approach to comedy. They were saying that they were going to make this one serious and not comedic, because Gearbox in Borderlands, known for its very mature and thorough sci-fi storytelling and engrossing story. No, it's not. You come back to laugh and to see Moxie and to see Hammerlock and to see Torg. That's what we're here for. And the fact I didn't see any of those characters tells me now I'm starting to get worried, because Borderlands ain't good enough writers to tell a serious story. I don't expect that this is going to go well. But
from what I heard from the guy, I mean, when the original interview, I mean, he said it was the toilet humor he was trying to get rid of. He wanted to do some more, sophisticated and intelligent humor.
Political humor?
Who knows, man?
That's the only other option. Dude, one of the things he got mad about, he said he wanted to throw up after he heard, was that one of the guns was going to be called Hawk 2A. Hawk 2A. Now, I don't know if you know. Well, wait a minute. I think you do. You bastards, I think, introduced me to that. I did not know what that was. That was hilarious to me. I want the Hawk 2A gun. You bastards, you put it in there. You know what? This is a rare case where I am for somebody post-patch changing the game to put something in. Really, because I want my Hawk 2A.
I mean, the problem with that is by the time the game comes out, Hawk 2A is not relevant anymore.
Half the crap... Shut up. You played Borderlands 3. Half the jokes. The one pump chump is a gun in... Borderlands. The humor is funny also because it's outdated and stupid. The influencer villains from Borderlands 3 were so done before the game came out. That's the point. It's that it's not trying to be relevant. It's being irrelevant. It's irreverent. Borderlands is irreverent, silly humor with really good gun looting mechanics where you get awesome guns. And already them going, we're trying to tell a less toilet humor type of story and be more. And I'm like, I played Wonderlands, dude.
Well, look, this is you guys' fault anyway, because you wanted your character to be more involved in the story. So now they're changing how they tell the story. I just want to shoot shit.
Well, that's the reason I'm not that bothered by this. Ultimately, my funnest part of the game, the most fun I had with the game was not at any point in any part of the story, except for the DLCs are always amazing. And they can fix that in the DLC. They can put out a funny DLC if they screw up the main game story. They did it in Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3's main story was hot garbage. Borderlands 3's gameplay and weapons were amazing. And the DLC, amazing DLC. Amazing, every DLC, fun and interesting. That's what this will be. It's just Borderlands 3 again. We're going to get a crap story and an awesome DLC. And our main characters won't matter. That's what's going to happen. So it's Borderlands, dude. You don't come to Borderlands for quality. It's not a quality story.
I better still be able to flush toilets and get cash. That's all I got to say.
No, that's toilet humor. You can't make money off of toilets anymore, just like Gearbox can't. They're sophisticated. I see a psycho with a little bow tie talking about, now then, let's behave ourselves, people.
All right, last topic is somewhat based off rumor, but it's also more based off of just the concept of the thing. And that's that BioWare may stealth introduce politically charged content into Mass Effect 5 post-launch. Now, what this is basically saying is that things like pronouns and stuff that have gotten kickback on many games, they're talking about taking them out, and then after the game is released, then adding them back in a post-launch patch. Basically to try to stop the early reviewers from killing off some of their customer base by pointing out things like the pronoun game.
Well, slight correction. The leak, as it was presented, states that the current version of the game does have pronoun selection, but attempts to remove inclusivity, the word that they were using, content was passed down from top. These are, again, leaks and rumors. But this is a QA leaker, supposedly, that said, we've been told to remove inclusivity content so that we can patch it in later. And that's the part that got everybody. They're going to patch it back in, which set your boy Q off. Like, I've been ranting that Zeno had to tell me save it for the show, because I was on a big tear, because I'm like, and this is why I lost all faith. This is it. Now you're seeing the other stuff, and we got some CD Projekt Red, I think, later. But, like, this got me because you're aware that inclusivity content in your game loses money. You're aware that inclusivity content can ruin the launch of your game. Zeno, why would the pass down just not be remove the inclusivity content, period, end of sentence? Because you're acknowledging it. You're acknowledging it doesn't work. This is the first time we've seen a company, Zeno, actually acknowledge that inclusivity content is bad for business.
I don't know, man.
They're saying it.
I think we've seen other companies admit it and just say, screw it, we don't care.
That's more heartbreaking. No, they kept acting like it would work. They kept saying
no. I mean, you remember
that.
You remember those Slack comments, dude. We're literally pissing off our customers on purpose.
But they didn't think that there was enough customers. This is them going, we know this affects us financially. Literally saying, we know this affects us financially. We're going to try to put it back in later. Now, the reason that I'm about to turn this over to Zeno is that I don't mind popping off the top of my head stuff, because this ain't a news channel. I'll say what I want. But Zeno is way more informed, especially given certain experiences from his own career paths, on this of how does this work from a legal and a possible repercussion standpoint to go, we're literally going to conceal what this game is from you to the point of selling it to you in one state, and not a quality patch, not a fix, a actual content and context patch that's going to then change it into something else that we took out because we know you wouldn't buy it with it. That's the key point. We took it out because you wouldn't buy it if it was in there. Seems like, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, and Flynn points out there were game by characters in Mass Effect, and that's not what we're talking about as so much as, I mean, these are the same people that did Dragon Age Veilguard with weird, some of those mechanics where, I mean, the thing is yes, Mass Effect has always allowed choice where you can go various ways. The problem with the current people working on this, if you go, you're sort of being forced down certain paths, regardless of you want that content or not. And now, to what level? I mean, obviously, we don't know. We there are, for one, it's rumors. For two, I mean, inclusivity is a broad topic, you know. Now, we know what has hurt the market. Allowing you to have relationships of your choosing has never hurt the market. That has always been good for the market, actually. People having choice has always been good in gaming. It's one of the things I emphasize is choice. Now, you know, I mean, that's why we talk about Baldur's Gate 3, you know, had a lot of stuff in it, but only if you wanted to go down that rabbit hole. Now, when you start taking stuff out, and I'm assuming it's more of things that hurt Dragon Age, you know, the scars for sex change, the pronouns, stuff like that. Apparently people have been getting, and I'll be honest, pronouns, I don't really give a shit. You know, it's an option. To me, pronouns are in the same category of accessibility, you know. I mean, blind people and deaf people are a very small percentage of the gaming community. But we add accessibility functions in there, you know, so that they can enjoy the game as well. Pronouns, same with me. You know, because it doesn't affect me. I just choose he, him, or whatever, and I move on. And honestly, in a game, how many times are you even addressed by a pronoun? You know,
by third person? Yeah, I know. Well, same here. I just want to throw that in. I like I said, to me, the only thing that pronouns make me worry about is when I see them, it's not going, oh no, there's pronouns. It's going, oh no, there's probably more than just pronouns. Because it's indicative, it starts with pronouns and then it usually goes downhill instead of just, we got pronouns. Okay, that's a choice. But then you start having less choice, or you end up with, how do I say this diplomatically? You end up with a very unrealistic representation. Like, for example, in Veilguard, the idea that you know, that there's so many people of a certain proclivity that every other person you meet almost knows what it is and is down with it or knows somebody. That's not any, you have to live in a very specific place in the world where you could say, I could walk up to a random person and go, do you know a blah? And they'll be like, yeah, that's one of my friends. That's just not the numbers, man. And you know why? Because I check. I get curious. I wonder if I'm going crazy and maybe 30-40% of the population is shifted. Then I go check and it's like 2, 1, less than 1.
To me, so it's not even that. Once again,
environment.
It's one of those issues of, why do I have to know? Why do I need to know this information about this character? Why do you need to push this ideology on me? You know, because let's be honest, when I go out, so there's a bar right down the street. I go to it probably once a week. I know half the people in there when I go in there. I don't know if any of them are straight, gay, bi, because none of that matters. In a general day-to-day conversation, you're not going to tell me about that. And then I'm not going to have a scripted reply where no matter what, I have to affirm your belief system regardless of what I believe. You know, if you're going to go into a controversial topic, then you need to give appropriate variety of answers. But generally, just don't go into it. It's a game. People are trying to escape most of the time playing games. They don't want to hear about political stuff. They don't want to hear about, honestly, don't care about relationships in a game, period. I'd almost prefer they're not. But I get some people have that, want in a game because it gives them some extra immersion. Once again, choice, great. I don't care. You know, I don't have to be in a relationship in in those games. So
Well,
why do I have to hear
so yeah
about somebody's belief system? That's not. We don't generally talk about politics and sex and religion when we're out and about.
Or with your coworkers.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a faux pas.
So the fact that this has become a thing that has to be done in games to get some kind of check mark, and the fact that now they're wanting to go, well, let's remove that stuff and then put it back in later so we can fool people to still buy our game who don't want that in their games is shady. Now, can they get away with it? Probably. We don't own games anymore.
Well, we don't, and technically that's true, but we've also seen common law and common sense in court cases where they've gone, no, there's a reasonable expectation and intent. We've seen that. It's happened several times where they'll go, well, technically they could do this, and the court said, you know dang well nobody thought you were going to do that or that you should be able to do that. Because it didn't happen with some, aren't there lawsuits right now? I think we covered it where people are suing one of the companies for taking a game off after they've been still selling it up to like. Yeah,
that's a little different than changing some content. I mean, game companies change content all the time, dude.
Bad faith is a legal practice that has been hit, though, of operating back bad faith. Now, I'm not saying you're not right. You are absolutely technically right. But I'm also saying I have seen bad faith. I've seen them go. It's because here's the reason why. Now, they don't have it officially, so they're safe now. But if somebody genuinely whistleblowed that this was intentional, I think they could get repercussions. If somebody did come forward in the case of a trial and said, no, this wasn't random.
That it was intentional and malicious.
Yes.
Then possibly you could get some kind of, but then at most it would be
refund.
That or civil. What do you call the mass?
Oh no, it wouldn't be. Yeah, it'd be civil. But here's the thing. But it could also establish a common law if you can't do that. I don't want companies doing this, man. I'm very scared of BioWare starting an incredibly nasty practice of going, like, look at Space Marines 2. Great game. Imagine if a week from now, they just went hardcore off the reservation, man. Oh, that term's probably not sensitive anymore. They went off the rails wildly and just shot off and just started really altering. All of a sudden, Titus is like dating the other guy. They just suddenly started wildly altering it, and they went back and rewrote the campaign to include it in the base campaign and added dollar. Dude, I feel like something should happen. I feel like they should go, whoa, 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 what the heck, man? This is not the game I bought from you. Or it should at least be that you set, because here's the problem. They're going to do this, and they're going to shove these changes into a fix patch so that you can't not do it, because they know if it was an optional patch, yo, go hit this DLC to make my game nicer, most people wouldn't. Let's be real. Imagine if they did this, but it was an optional DLC. Man, that would be like that one game. What game was it where nobody downloaded the free thing?
I mean, the good thing is if it's in a pack.
It was let me say real quick. Ghostbusters. It was a Ghostbusters CD where they didn't include 2016 Ghostbusters, and they risked the fuss. So they said, dude, well, you can go get it for free. And it was like barely downloaded, even for free.
I mean, the good thing is if they make it into a single package that adds all of it at once, somebody will mod it all back out. There'll be a mod the next day.
It's funny. Flynn is saying, so what about Stellar Blade? If they had a scene where she could have a scene with another woman, would Ben be mad? No. And it's like, yeah, but I know if it was forced in, there'd probably be a few people that would be annoyed, yeah. But if it's optional, no. But then I don't mind. Like, dude, every Dragon Age game has had the option for you to be gay. Like, that's been every Dragon Age game. And I never cared. It's, we cracked jokes about it last time that you could run up on Iron Bull on accident. And I thought it was funny. That if you're not careful, you could slip up. But I don't care about choice. I want everybody to be happy. I don't mind you having the option. There's a character whose name I don't even remember. But she was the Red Jenny Archer in Dragon's Inquisition. And she is very unique. And she was clearly in there to represent a certain mindset and group. And I treated her like crap. But it was because I was a mage. No, it wasn't what you were thinking. Oh, I'm talking the wrong way. I'm talking to this screen. But, you know, it's because I was a mage, and she also is, like, super kind of racist toward mages. I guess it's racist. Mages are practically a race in that game. And I told her to F off. And I never explored her story. Heck, I've killed her a couple of times. I've kicked her out of my party. But the thing is, I had that choice. Her presence didn't bother me because I didn't have to put up with her. You know, She kept going. I think you're scary, man. Maybe we should kill all wizards. And I'm like, you crazy heifer. Because she was a horrible person, you know, but she also was like big.
And to answer your question also, Flynn, I think if 10 years ago they did that, you probably wouldn't have that many people complain. You would probably have more people complain now than you would have because of it being another thing. Well, people would be feeling like they were forced into, you know, a certain
orientation. Yeah.
Orientation.
But that's the thing. They've almost made it unacceptable. They've hurt the cause because stuff that didn't bother us now bothers us because you're telling us we're supposed to love it. And it's like, no, we can ignore it. Ignoring something used to be fine. And that is fine. But now even going, you know, and ignoring something makes you a bad person. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, for example, if Dragon Age Velgar was built like Inquisition, I would have never heard any of those dialogues they had because I would have probably not even had that character in my party. Because here's why, though, before you try to call me an istophobe, no, it's because I've watched your first conversation with her. I do my research. She's rude as no, when you meet her, she's still a she. So, bam, she does not go non-binary until later. So when you meet her, she is incredibly rude to you. Even going as far as, I didn't need your help. She just mouths off. And I know Xeno, he's the same way. I would have said, well, then fuck you. Dude, no, I don't want you in my party. Go off and die to a dragon somewhere. And then I never would have had her in my party. Because there's no way you're going to walk up on my rook talking all that book crap. But you just got to be like, oh, come on, like me. Dude, I need your help.
I missed several things my first playthrough of Fallout 4 because somebody would come up and they would try to force their opinion forcefully onto me and go, well, you have to do this. And I'm like, nope, bam. You know?
Don't use an excuse for shooting Preston, you racist. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Wasn't Preston. I shot my son.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. I had to shoot him a lot of times. Dude, he mouthed off. You don't talk back to dad, man. Y'all can see my skin color. I'm from Texas. He mouthed off. I was like, I think you a problem. But no, Fallout 3, to tell you how antisocial I could be, I didn't know you could have companions in Fallout 3 for nearly 4 years. I beat that game not really aware that there was all these companions because apparently I just thought everybody was a dick and never did what it took to get a companion. Because one of the first ones is a person that was a tunnel rat is one of the guys that was a jackass to you. So I never got a companion because apparently I'm terrible at making friends.
Dude, the only thing I ever used the companions like in Skyrim for was as a mule, you know. I'd go through a dungeon and be like, crap, I can't carry this. Let me put it all in this one chest. Let me go grab a companion, bring them back here, and have them loot the chest for me real quick, and then...
I fired your thing, or whatever you call your little servant in Skyrim so fast. I literally got her in a group, had her some stuff. She said, I'm sworn to carry your burdens. I took my stuff back and kicked her out my damn party and went and hired the assassin at the bow shop because I wasn't going to be talked to like that. So it ain't got nothing to do with orientation. I tend to just be like, I'm the Dragonborn. You're not talking to me like that.
Well,
but my point is
I think that's what the game companies are missing, dude. I think they're missing the fact that it's not as so much. Well, it wasn't. It is becoming that way, honestly, because of it being forced so much. But it was never about the ability, the inclusion, because gamers. I mean, dude, we grew up screaming for more choices, more inclusion, more, but we don't want things forced down our throats. We want the option to go no. You can't give us more options but take away other options. That's not how that's not what we wanted. We've always wanted everybody to be able to play the game, everybody to be able to enjoy the game, and if you don't agree with something, be able to, do that in game, not agree. I shouldn't have to agree to something. That was the whole cool thing about RPGs, because you'd gain traits and stuff by how you thought the world should function. Now, is that how the world functioned? Maybe, maybe not. But you would be known for the guy who thought that way.
Dude, I'll end it on this because this is good. We're running a bit over, but here's my best way to put it. Because the character I'm talking about, I think it's Kev something, Zev, Shev, I don't know. And Veilgar, they're an ass. Just like in Inquisition, the Red Jitty archer was an ass. But yet I'm a foe. They and I think that's used as a cop out. I'm gonna be real. I find it amazing that these characters will be unbearable, but when you critique them, you're a istaphobe. When it's the character's a jackass. Because here's the thing. Dorian was my boy. In Inquisition, you remember Dorian the Necromancer? That was one of my besties, man. Ran with my crew all the time. He was one of my favorite characters to run with. Because he was funny, he was charming, he was a necromancer, he's a cool guy. And I went through his story every time. I never let him down. I helped him get with his family, resort his issues, because I felt he was a well-done character and I liked him. Zevin in the first Dragon Age. Hammerlock and Wainwright in Borderlands 3. My favorite DLC is Love's Guns and Tentacles, or Guns, Love, and Tentacles. Amazing, enjoyed every part of it. A well-made character, you don't give a damn about their orientation in a negative way. You care about the character. And guess what? Once you care about the character, you care about what they care about. So now you want to help. I wanted the wedding to go well, because I like both characters, and they were cute together. You could do that. But that's what the real problem is that when you see pronouns, I'm going to make sense. When you see pronouns, it isn't the pronouns that are the problem. It's that 9 times out of 10, you're going to get really bad quality in writing because they didn't put those pronouns in to give the game more depth and choice. They put them in to prove a point, and they're going to keep trying to prove that point to you all throughout the game.
I mean, what it is to sum it up, we're numbers people. And statistically, yes, whenever you see that lately, we've had poor writing. It's not that necessarily leads to poor writing or that guarantees poor writing. It's just statistically we keep running across, and so it causes concern every time.
Yeah, I mean, I was heartbroken. I admitted to Zeno. This is real talk, didn't I? I admitted this to you about Avowed. I said, man, I'm actually broke up. I'm heartbroken about Avowed. It was on my what I'm going to be doing in February list, to the point that I said, I might buy Monster Hunter Wilds later because I'm playing Avowed and jump in after it's been out for a while. I literally was that looking forward to it that much. Now, and it's not even that it has pronouns, it's that they prove, here's a perfect example. Started with pronouns, then we found out about this art director who's saying messed up stuff and is a jackass. Then we find out he's doing very inappropriate business practices. Then we find out Microsoft is backing his inappropriate behavior. Then we find out a bunch of leaks.
And also, 90% of the time, whenever that comes out too, it's followed by a dev or a producer, director or something, getting online and going, well, fuck fans, you know, which once again shows, well, you obviously don't care about, you know, your gaming community. You know, I know Q had mentioned this earlier. He's like, you know, why is it that we keep seeing people who publicly on social media and stuff hate gamers keep getting hired and, you know, involved in developing games
and developing major franchises?
Yeah. So
and to give you a little note on this is some information I know. I'll throw it out quick. Example: when this came up, a young lady, a woman that made a comment about it, got like a very nasty text back. Well, got a comment back from a guy at BioWare, basically telling her "shut up, clown," using emojis. She called him out on it. He went back and made a bunch of other statements, you know, like, oh, well, and guess what? His Twitch is banned now, or is it Twitter? One of those. You know how hard it is to get banned? People even go, I'm like, well, what did he do to get banned after that? But that's the kind of people they got. The kind of people that'll sit there and get themselves banned, probably by saying something terrible, probably about women, because that's where the discussion went, because she said, are you telling a woman to shut up? And that blew up. And it's like, this is what it all started from pronouns. So no, we're not crazy. When you see pronouns, wait a week. It ain't even a month, baby. Am I right, Zeno? It ain't even a month. Wait a week.
that's what the numbers say. So
that's what the numbers say. Wait a week, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna blow up. You're gonna find out that they hate you. They hate gamers. They hate the game they're making. They hate the company they work for. They hate themselves. Help me get rid of old crusty white gamers like me so I can go live in the woods. What the F was he talking about, man? I'm sorry, I'm not going to. What was he talking? Well, then go live in the woods. You don't need to ruin other people's job opportunities that have the same skin color as you to go to the woods, bitch. Just go to the woods. Nobody wants you anyway. That's the dumbest statement. Well, just go to the woods. Let me tell you something. The world will be a better place if all you motherfuckers out there.
All right. Yeah.
But why is stuff playing on its own? Okay. That's weird. But no, like I said, you're right. I'm going on and on. You can leave. You don't have to ruin it for everybody else to leave. Go. You don't have to work in the gaming industry if you hate it that much. If you think there shouldn't be old crusty white men in the gaming industry, I know one you can take care of right now. They're hiring at McDonald's. Well, not McDonald's. They're doing bad lately. They're hiring at fast food places because everybody's quitting because they want higher pay. So go work at fast food or go learn how to program AIs to do voice acting. I hear that's popping off.
All right, and with that, we're gonna wrap up. Once again, we're following the numbers. Thanks, guys, for listening. Go to Dicejunkies.com where you find links everywhere. We're online, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on our YouTube channel. And as every week,
we hope you enjoy.